Hello again then, Dread Mechanic here for more of my build streaming shenanigans. I see there's a couple of people here already. Hey Marcus, how you doing, man? Right, so what did we do last time? We were working on Zeke's weapon systems and a few other bits. We did a little bit of AI testing because we need to set up some AI systems. We'll do that later. For now, I want to get some of these weapons more finished off because that rocket launcher looks a bit crap at the moment. And we need to do more with this cockpit space in here and figure something out for that. But here's the dummy version, so he can go. We've still got the regular version here that we're actually working on. So reference pictures. Hey Engineered Coffee, how you doing, man? So the reference pictures that I have got. Oh, hello Tiny Cat. I'm joining the party, are you? What have we got? We've got this radome thing on the side that's supposed to be some kind of radar dish thing, I think. But I'm going to turn it into a rocket launcher, because why not? Are you going to get comfortable, Cat, or are you going to hang around on the back of my chair? Come on. Join the party properly. Nope, okay, fine. I'll stay up there, it'll be a nuisance. Okay, so I already started setting up a rocket launcher, similar to the one that's over here on Rex. So I'm pretty much going to follow a similar kind of vibe. I'm not going to have the flappy bits on it. And I'm going to try and design things a wee bit differently. So let's take Rex over here so he is easier to use as a reference point. Hopefully his balance system wants to work a little bit nicer on camera this time. There we go. I think I'd messed something up with his balance control last time. Oh yeah, Marcus. One of my cats in particular, she is I call her the separation anxiety cat, because she basically can't bear to be more than 6 feet away from me at any time. And usually the second I sit down on anything, or lie down in bed, or do anything that involves being stationary, she jumps straight on. And then she will intermittently bugger off and reappear whenever she feels like it. That's cats. Right. So, we set up most of the weapons, didn't we? So I've got the basic controls there. All these pages are going to have to move though, so I need to get the AI controls on page 2. So I did the head, I did the autocannons. Yeah, the head works. The autocannons work. The little phallic Gatling gun works. That turns on and off and resets to where it should do. Why does it do that little move every time? And ooh, the railgun. You need some settings sorting out. You shouldn't have been able to hitch that far back. Yeah, I messed something up there. Let's have a look at the railgun settings then. We had rail cannon on. What have I forgotten? I've forgotten to set some limits somewhere. Set velocity, set upper limit. Oh, that's what I've done. I've set a velocity there instead of a lower limit. I think it was going to be minus 45 or something like that. Rail cannon hinge, rail cannon hinge. So we'll set that lower limit to minus 40. Wrong button. Set lower limit to minus 45. Turn that back on. There we go. It's not trying to slam into its own body anymore. We can adjust that if need be. Okay. Cool, that works. Right, everything looks like it is sort of working. Do. Oh, Marcus, thank you very much, mate. I didn't notice you'd become a member. I've just seen the welcome to the mech engineer message at the top of my chat. Thank you very much, dude. I've just noticed your name is coming up in green on my chat. Cheers, dude. Right, so this radome thing is basically just a big white-looking circle. How did I do it with that one? I did it like that, didn't I? It's got a block of space all the way around, and then an edge to kind of round it off. Yeah, I think I've done it the same way. Oh, I've done it slightly differently because I've used the flat blocks there rather than the curved ones. Doesn't make a difference. In that case then, let's paint the front of this the same white as everything else, so it actually looks like the source material. Front of this is white according to that picture, so we'll go with that. Oh, that's the wrong fucking button. And it was one of the weird new corner shapes. 1, 2, 3. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's 1, 2, 3. It's that one. That way round. Fantastic. And then, what did we have in the design? 3 full blocks across each edge. One of them, in fact, mirror mode would make life easier. There we go. Something like that, and then I'm going to use all the curved blocks around the outside. Sweet. So, that'll be a couple of them up there. One of them there. One of them there. Fantastic. Then we've got that there. That's the wrong shape. Gotta be careful when you delete stuff in mirror mode. Sometimes you end up chopping things off by mistake. There we go, that will do me. Or the start at least. Right, what else have we got going on in here? Oh, actually, I brought it forward a bit, didn't I? To give it a bit more space. Yeah, actually, let's try that, because that... Oh no, that... Trying to keep a similar style, but trying to do it slightly differently. You know what, let's build up some of the back of it. I might make that circular bit on the front slightly larger. So I've got a decent enough reference picture. Let's look at the back of this thing. It looks like... Oh, that dome's actually... That white circle needs to be like a block bigger in all directions. Might have to try something else. Because that comes up like that, and then that has what looks like that kind of shape across the back, which then comes down like that a little bit, and then comes out a bit, something like that, perhaps. Call it that to keep them covered. Yeah, we'll just go with that for now. We can refine it later. I find a lot of the time when I'm struggling to work out the shapes, I just throw some stuff in and then you'll immediately spot what is wrong and what needs tweaking, and then you can figure it out from there. Yeah, because then that edge, that's going back to those 2B ones. And then it looks like it comes out at least another block back. Means potentially cut that out and stick some stuff in there maybe, if needed. Also save on a little bit of weight. Actually, that looks like it comes out a bit further than that, actually. Might come out a few more blocks. It looks like it kind of tapers towards the back end. But it looks like it's got a bit of a taper. Kind of like that. At least in the reference picture I've got to work with. Yeah, that'll do me for the moment. Right, this circle is actually way, way, way bigger. It's at least another block out, all around. Okay then, let's put another layer along this outer edge and see what kind of circle we can make off that. So if I go with the same sort of thing that I was doing before, 3 of them, take all of them out, fill them in, it would have been something like that, and then that, and then that. About as circular as you're going to get in Space Engineers. Put that there, and the little spiky bit in there, another one in there. Ah, yeah, and then that edge here. That's why it looks a bit squared off. So we need one of them, and then helps if we put it in the right place. Yeah, that's about as circular as you can get when you're working with flat edges. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But I think the whole thing needs to come forward a block, to be honest. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that whole grid. I'm going to chop this all off. There we go, I've got that I can paste onto here after I've changed it a little bit. I think it all wants to come forward a little bit. Oh, you're going to make me... Oh. There we go. So what did I do over here? I inset it a little bit, didn't I? Like 2 blocks. Because then it's got a little lip around the back. Yeah, we'll try and do a similar thing here. And see if that helps. Makes it look a little bit better. How did I do it there? I did it very square in there, didn't I? What if I do it slightly differently? On this side. Make it like that, so it's more circular on the inside. Might end up changing Rex to match. We can do that. We could have that and that. And then we could have one of those ones there. Oh, no, not there. Ah. We do that around the corners, and then we can have that block. Right back round would be helpful. There we go. Yeah, and that's inset a little bit more, like that a bit better. And then I'm going to need a connection point to work with. So, for the moment, we will just do... yeah, something like that. And then we can refine it again later. Don't give me any grief, thank you. There we go. Oh yeah, that's why I did it. Those blocks. You get this lovely circular pattern around the edge, but you get this big square thing in the middle. And that'll be why I did it like that on the other one. So now we have this hideous square gap. Yeah, that's why I did it like that. Alright, let's change that back then. So it looks more circular. There you go, that looks nicer. And that looks a bit more to scale with the picture I've got. Yeah, cool. Right, bear with me a second, I need to bring up a better picture of this thing on my screen. I've only got that tiny little screenshot that's on OBS at the moment. What was it? Pictures, reference pictures, Zeke. That's the one. Yeah, it looks about the same as the other one I've got. Oh, hey, AJ. Yeah, it's a bit of a donut. It's a deadly donut that's going to fire rockets at you if you're not careful. Oh, no, I'll be able to do it. Actually, I'm tempted to see if I can do something really stupid. Ah, cheers, AJ. Yeah, I've got a few Metal Gear projects on the go at the moment. I've got another secret one at the minute, and I've got a few more planned that I want to do. I reckon... What do we reckon, actually? But I wouldn't mind trying to see if I could figure out how to make a cover for this thing. because the doors aren't quite the right size to fire rockets out of. You can do that with large grid a lot of the time. You can use doors as like sort of sneaky covers for stuff, but those rockets, they will just clip straight into the side of that door and it'll look crap anyway because it's the wrong shape. I'd really like a round small grid door. That'd be nice. Well, I know there's lots of mods that do that, but I'd like a vanilla small grid door that's round. So, in that case, I'm curious as to whether I or not I can get away with doing something really stupid like this. So that's in line with that now. Then we could potentially cover this armor plate. Oh no, because then I wouldn't be able to cover that bit. It would look poo. Because that would come back. Be like that, and we'd only be able to go that far. Lower limit 0. Oh, Marcus, yes, the iris doors are really cool. I've used that mod on quite a few builds for this exact kind of purpose. For like missile tube like covers and things. But yeah, I also don't have it added to a lot of games these days because I'm trying to minimise the amount of mods I use. I'm trying to do things as vanilla as possible lately. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work like that. I don't think I've got enough space. We might come up with a different idea for later. For now, let's just get the thing up and running and looking reasonably decent. So, we need to change this in here now. Because we moved everything forward 2 blocks. So that has to be that because of that corner shape. We can cover that like that. That can go. Put them there like that. Those 3 can go. Right. We got what we got. We'll chop that out of there. We can. Oh, what's that? You have adopted my thruster controls for your Mantis miner. You now have 3-axis model in development. Oh, sweet. Cool. I like it when my stupid ideas catch on and people find them useful. Rather than just, what the hell are you doing with all those subgrids? Speaking of subgrids, I can't wait till they finally get added to Space Engineers 2. But as of yesterday's livestream, it doesn't sound like they're in a rush to add them yet, which is a shame. Oh, mirror mode. Putting that back on would probably be helpful. Yeah, and then in that gap we have that like that, which lines up sort of alright, I suppose. Agent told me to use the Park script. You said stuff it. Yeah, man. I mean, you can just use scripts, and it's a perfectly viable option. But there's so many ways of being able to do stuff vanilla now that I like to try and figure out the vanilla way of doing it if I can. That way, I don't have to rely on a script. Because my biggest problem with scripts is occasionally the game gets updated and it breaks people's scripts, and then you are at the mercy of the developer of that script to play catch up and fix the problems, and in the meantime there's not an awful lot you can do unless you know how to fix the script yourself. Whereas if you're doing it vanilla and you encounter any problems like that, you can just fix them for yourself, and you can do the troubleshooting routines and find the root of the problem. Because I think that was my biggest problem using the Mech Walker scripts when I initially moved to PC, is they were all very cool, but they were all very complex, and being a console player I wasn't too familiar with how scripting languages worked and all that kind of stuff. And I had some mixed success with the various Mech Walker scripts. And then it wasn't long before event controllers became a thing, and I just went, nah, I'm doing it vanilla instead. I can either learn coding side of things, or I can just carry on with the mechanical ways I've been doing it, with timer blocks, and just expand on that. Yeah, this is what I mean, Engineered Coffee. Like, every time the game updates, everyone's got to check all their stuff, like mods, all the modders have to check all their mods still work, all the scripters have to check all their scripts still work, because a few little variables here and there changing the base game can totally ruin people's hard work. Just look at what happens every time Bethesda updates Skyrim, and it destroys the entire modding community again from scratch. That was one of the reasons I got bored of using mods in Skyrim, is every time Bethesda felt like updating their game, they changed huge substantial chunks of the base code and it just broke everything. And then all those lovely mods just stopped working. Yeah, I think I might want to cut some of that in a little bit more so we can tilt his head a bit further down as well. Yeah, oh, that's because it's trying to go to nothing. Yeah, I'll come back to the head later on. Oh, hi, Tybor. Yep, thank you very much, man. Thank you for the compliments. Right, so let's have a look. What else have we got on this thing? Depends which design you're looking at. There's so many variations of all these mechs that I just end up picking and choosing bits from different ones a lot of the time. Right, that can't really be anything else other than square, because of blocks I've used there. Right. I want to try and get some sort of lid on the front of this thing that doesn't look crap. Oh yeah, well, that's it, Adria. Like, some people prefer scripts because they're easier to get up and running, quicker and easier to get up and running. I prefer the vanilla way because, in the long run, I have greater control over what I'm doing. It all just depends on your perspective on building and what you want to do, really. But yeah, I mean, there are still a few scripts that I use occasionally because there is no other vanilla alternative. But you never know, the changes they keep making with all these updates. There's lots of stuff we'll be able to do vanilla eventually. I mean, the fact that we can set velocities and particular angles on things like rotors and pistons and hinges is an absolute game changer. So I was so happy about when Keen announced that. In fact, I remember sitting there watching the Contact release update stream, going through the bits and pieces of the new update whilst watching the stream about the new update, going, there's blocks in here, but nothing that interesting, meh. Nothing to get too excited about. And then somebody on the stream mentioned the changes to rotors and hinges, and I went, what? There haven't been any changes to rotors and hinges. And then I looked at the actual mechanical side of them, and I nearly had a heart attack. I was so excited. Yeah, I want to get a big cap on the front of this to cover that hole over. Okay, another idea. One of these reference pictures I've got has got 2 little indents in the side of this thing. I think I am going to make those little indents. I'm going to try at least. And make them the right thing when I can find it. There we go. I might try and do something like this with the hinges. But I want to be careful of how far it opens up, because I don't want the flappy door to be able to smack into anything on the inside. So we could try something like that, and if I push that all the way forwards, so that's its resting position, I could then take an armor panel. Oh, I love how the armor panels don't clip as badly as the blocks. And then I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. And a half. And then that could open up. Open up a little bit wide, I think. Let's make that minus 45. Let's make it minus 30. We could do something like that. And then we could push that one all the way forward and do the same kind of thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Well, 23 is obviously way too fast, isn't it? Might be able to get away with quicker than that. There you go, it's not making any slamming noises. It's not making any clanging. And if only all blocks had the collisions that armor plates do. Because there's not even any scrubbing there. That might not be too bad. Copy all. Copy. Paste. Reverse open. That can't lean in any more than that anyway. Yeah, that might be alright actually. We could just have like a little cover over the front of this cap. What's that? You hope they implement the set light RGB. I hope they do too. It's a thing they have mentioned. Yes, Tybor. The Keen guys mentioned a while back that one of the ideas they were working on for the next update was setting like setting light variables the same way that you can set like hinge variables and stuff like that. It'll be a lovely idea if it comes true. But we'll see what happens when that update eventually comes out, so I hope it's soon. Because Keen have this beautiful habit recently of every time I get in the middle of working out a new way of doing something, they release an update that makes all of that hard work completely irrelevant because they just added a new feature that does the thing I've been trying to find a workaround for. They literally did that with the set velocity, the set velocities and rotate to angle settings. I was using event controllers to figure out how to basically do the same thing, make a rotor or hinge move to a particular position and then stop automatically. And right in the middle of figuring that out, they uploaded that, they released that update, and like a few months worth of hard work went in the bin in seconds. Because they added a feature that literally did what I was trying to do. And I hope they don't do that this time. I hope they give us new features that I'm not trying to find workarounds for. I just want new features. Yeah, so you do something like that. Reverse that open. Yeah, and then just make two big circular flaps. And that can then keep that all covered up. And that way this thing has some subgrid flappy things, just like that thing has some subgrid flappy things. I've already over-engineered the hell out of this one. I'm not going to change Rex now. He can stay like that. But this one, I quite like that over here. What I love about this weldless armour is it's so clean you can barely see at the seams and things like that sometimes. Command and Conquer. Yes, I'm very familiar with Command and Conquer. That was the LAN party game of my youth. I played a hell of a lot of CNC back in the day. You wanted to build something like the Mechwalker Titan Mark 1 or 2. Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming designing mech stuff in Space Engineers if you are new to it. My suggestions is always start with something small and then work your way up to the big things, because even I have jibbed off many grandiose projects that were a little bit too big. I actually went through all of my save folders the other day and organised everything, and I've got loads of big monstrous mega projects that I never finished because I got a bit overwhelmed about the size and scale of them. So start small and build up to them. Right, so we've got the right pieces to make an entire panel that covers this entire section, haven't we? Do I actually want it to be that big? I don't think I do. I do want to put mirror mode on this panel though. And that panel, because it'll make life a little bit easier. I'll do something... I'll go with the triangular one. Where is it? There it is. We'll go with that. Where's that flat square? There it is. Maybe those like that. Let's open these up so I can actually see better. Oh, Marcus, I am certain there is all sorts of CNC content littered throughout the workshops. There always is. Because there's a lot of nerds out there that are into the same nerdy stuff, and I've accidentally put those ones on the actual thing. Yeah, I'm almost certain there will be lots of iterations of various Command and Conquer stuff somewhere on Steam and Mod.io. I'm sure I saw someone post like one of the Tesla tanks from like a while back, actually. That's gonna be like that. That's gonna be like that. Then that is going to be a row of the half blocks. I've probably gone past. There they are. So that'll be like that. And that'll be like that. Yeah, I might need to make that a bit slower. I hate the clangy noises. Yeah, that covers that up quite nicely. You can pretty much not even see it like that. Yeah, alright. I'll make that 5 instead. Yeah, because it's scrubbing a little bit. You can see the hinge moving slightly when it comes in. If anything, it's probably the rotor head clipping on this bit here. But, meh. Good enough for now. Right, let's put on a few more details. Let's make that bit black as well. And then we can add some of the pointy tip pieces, 2x1 slopes. There we go. At the right side. No, it's not. There we go. Something like that. And then over here, it'll be something like that. And then across the top, we're going to have a few more to round it off a little bit. That. Contact points on armor plates are so tiny. There we go. Then, where's that? A half block. And then the little square. There we go. That's what I wanted. Half block, or half plate rather. Little square. Fantastic. So, let's call that rocket cover hinge 01. We'll give it a bit of braking torque. Ooh, not 5 million, that's too much. There we go. Oh, this is in the chat. Oh yeah, Tybor, it's definitely better to build it yourself. It's always a good idea to have a look and see how other people have done it. Just for point of reference, because you might struggle to figure out how to make a particular shape or angle, or you might spot that someone's used a particular kind of block as a really interesting kind of detailing. So it's always worth having a look at other people's ideas and going, they've done it like that, I'm going to do it like this instead, with a few of those ideas. Because I'm always looking at stuff on the workshop, seeing what other mechs people have built. And occasionally I'll see someone that's a complete novice that's built a mech that can't even walk. They'll have stated in the description that it can't walk and I don't know how to do it, but they'll have made some really interesting design choices. Tinted glass should be a thing to have integrated into the game. Yeah, to be honest, we've got quite a few decent sets of large grid windows now. I just want Keen to give a little bit more love and attention to small grid stuff, is what I'd like. Because I prefer building in small grid for the detail, and I feel like small grid doesn't get the love that it deserves sometimes. There's a lot of cool blocks that get released for the large grid versions that don't have small grid variants, and that upsets me a little bit. So we will copy that. We'll paste that. Can we go a little bit quicker without it clanging and making horrible sounds? What's 7 like? What's 8 like? Where's the threshold where it starts clanging? 8. That's the threshold where it starts clanging. Making horrible noises. Yeah, cool. We'll go with 7 then. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. PCU, I think that's everybody's problem. I said it before, for quite a simple, blocky looking game, it is really resource heavy because it's doing bloody thousands of little tiny calculations in the background. So yeah, PCU and frame rate and sim speed. Frame rate and sim speed are my biggest problems. Because I'll get carried away making something that's got like 30 odd subgrids on it. And then when I paste 2 of that into the same game, everything slows down. And you'd be amazed how much the CPU, the AI calculations take up in the background. Like when those AI task blocks are trying to calculate where other grids are going, whilst those grids are trying to calculate where they're going, it all gets very, very slow. The other plates on the outside of the door near the hinges, those ones, I can't really do much with them without exposing the yellow bit on the end of the hinge, and I hate the yellow bits. I know they're a good indicator of where conveyor routes are, but I hate that colour. I don't know why, I just hate it. I wish there was skin variants where you could remove the yellow. To be honest, the design I've got, oh right, yeah, because the picture I've got, it's actually quite squarish there, so I think I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, I've got about 10 different pictures I'm working off, and they're all slightly different, so I'm just sort of picking and choosing bits and pieces that look good, and I can work with the block shapes I've got. Because I've got one where this is just one giant white dome, and there's nothing on the sides at all, no extra details. I've got another picture where this outer edge is all black, with a white bit in the middle, but I can sort of maybe do that, but I would have to add a lot of armor plates. Actually, I might be able to get away with that. Oh, no, because actually, did we? No. Actually, no, we could just about get away with making that border. around the outside of that. If I use armor plates to cover up the fronts of here, yeah, that does actually work. That might be a little bit close to there though. Is that going to scrub? Not scrubbing too much. Yeah, actually, I quite like that. Ah, but then the back of it's going to look crap. Probably cover that in our place as well. Maybe. Actually, yeah, I can get away with that. I like the idea of having a little black border around the outside of it. So let's try and cover this so it doesn't look completely crap. There you go, that looks nicer. And then we could press the wrong button and put some of them in there. Yeah. You know, let's do some of that. Ugh. Warning, suit energy is low. Doesn't matter, I've got creative tools on game. Alright, then we can put that there. That there. And then we've got a little bit of sort of detail there. Oh yeah, and the edges around here. Do something like that. So we've got this interesting little edge in the armor. Yeah, I reckon that looks quite good as a basic setup for now. So, programming. What did we do? I have seen at least one of the big giraffe-looking things from Horizon Zero Dawn. I nearly said Event Horizon then, that's totally a different thing. No, I've seen at least one of the big giraffe-looking things from Horizon Zero Dawn come up on Steam. I'm sure, actually, that Keen shared a video of it on their Facebook and socials pages or something a while back. I distinctly remember seeing it and going, that's a cool idea, why haven't I done that yet? Because I'm not a massive fan of Horizon Zero Dawn. I do like the mech designs in it though. Some of them are really cool. The story makes no sense, but the designs are cool. Right. So, did I actually rail cannon? I never got around to naming it, did I? No. And then... oh yeah, because we need to set up the rear camera. That's why that's like that. Let's copy all of that and paste it onto here. And then that can be control unit rocket launcher. Let's just make sure everything is named correctly. That conveyor sorter is not. Let's call that... I press all the wrong buttons before we get there. No, not that. Rocket launcher. Launcher with a capital L. Rocket hinge. rocket rotor, rocket cover, and then they will be rocket launchers. That'd be easy enough. Oh! Divvy. Other important things. I haven't built a camera on this thing. Now over here, I did that. So I'm going to do something similar on this bit. Oh yeah, and there's no connection point across the front of them. That's why I did that thing. So if we cut that out and grab the wedge-looking block, that one. A couple of them in there with a different skin for a little bit of different detail. And we stick 2 of them in there. How I did it? Yes, that is how I did it. Actually, what if we use the half beams? Have they got a connection point in the right place for me? No, they haven't. Damn. That's why I didn't use them on Rex. They have a connection point in the right place though, don't they? Yep, they do. That's fine. And let's cover those bits over a little bit. And we can have a camera on there. That can be camera rocket launcher. Right. Oh, hey UK Jamie, how you doing, man? What's that, Tybor? What about to let the steel plate give other white textures? Yes, that's actually an interesting idea. Ooh, I know a thing I can do. This I'd quite like. So I tend to just keep the paint schemes simple at the beginning. And what I like to do is have 2 or 3 colours at most, and then use different textures to add detail within those colour schemes. So I'm thinking I could do. That's not a problem with armour plates, it's really easy to paint through them. Paint stuff behind. Ooh, we could even potentially do that. Or we do that to these plates that we put on here. And we've got a little bit of detail there then. You're good, just get off a second round of exercise biking. Ah, no worries, man. Oh, hello, Avalos. How are you doing, man? No, this is SE1 at the minute. SE2, you still can't do mech stuff in it yet because it's only early days with that game. Subgrids aren't a thing yet. As soon as subgrids become a thing in SE2, believe me, I'll be jumping straight on it. Until then, there's not much for me to do with Space Engineers 2. So I'll be sticking to SE1 for the foreseeable future. My PC is not too bad. When I'm doing little single world builds like this, where I've not got a million things in the background, I tend to put my graphics settings up a little bit to make it look nicer. Because obviously the stream is only at like 1080p or something at most. And my screen resolution is much better than that, so I like to try and make the stream look as nice as I can do. I think I'm going to add more detail to the side of those guns at some point, but that's something to get distracted by later. Yeah, I quite like the look of that. It's like a big scary flower that shoots rockets at you. Lights. I need indicator lights. What could I do with those? Yeah, could have put some lights. Oh, actually, I've got an idea. Let's change things up again and do a little bit of a different design. Wrong block, that's why. I think I might put a pair of them in there, like that. And then have some lights in there like that. Just nick the settings from that one. It's easier. Copy, paste. And this one can be Metal Gear Zeke. Capital Z. Copy all. Copy. Paste. Yeah, cool. And when that turns on, those lights will come on. Shine from inside. Oh, don't go crappy internet signal. Come on, sort your life out. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your questions there. Question on the rotors and stuffs. Is it just trial and error, or do you have a default that you use for hinges? The particular settings for the rotors and hinges and stuff in the legs is almost entirely dependent on the design and the scale and the width and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of trial and error involved. The actual mechanics that I use to make it work, once I've figured out the rotor settings, is pretty uniform. The basic setup I use these days for my walk controls is all of this stuff right here. This all controls the walk cycle. So the first thing you've got is an event controller that turns on and off all of the walk control. In fact, it's actually easier to describe it going backwards, to be honest. In a strange way. Because essentially we've got a walk cycle timer that literally just triggers two lights turning on and off. Those lights control, those lights trigger these first two event controllers. And when those lights turn on and off, they move all the rotors and hinges in particular directions, and then we've got more controllers that return particular rotors and hinges back to their starting point again. And then there's another set of event controllers that trigger that timer, which is triggered by a rotor turning round. And then there's another set of event controllers that turn that rotor on and off when a thruster turns on and off. So the actual, like I said, the actual system that I use to make things walk is pretty much exactly the same every time. It's just the little details, like particular velocities and positions, that need tweaking every time. Because it all depends on how tall and how wide your mech is, and the size of the feet also help with balance and things like that. So there's a lot of trial and error that gets involved. Light armor. That wiggling, that is just a side effect of having like 4 or 5 subgrids chained together. Like, that is because the velocity here is trying to push against its limits. Gravity is pulling it back. The velocity is pushing against it, and gravity is pushing back, so it creates like a little wiggle. Whereas if you turn all that velocity off, the wiggling stops. It's literally just a side effect of subgrid chains. But once it's on the floor and it's got all of that weight pushing down, it doesn't jiggle, or doesn't jiggle as much in most cases. Rex has the same issue. When he's strung up like that, his legs will get a bit wiggly, and that's just because all the physics are fighting each other. Once it's sat on the floor, it all calms down again. Right, so we got weapons, we got hinges, we got camera, we got lights. We were setting up controls. We were setting up that rocket pod, rocket launcher controller. So azimuth, that is the rocket hinge, wherever that may be. What rotor is that? Rotor 2. I need to find that. Rocket hinge. Oh, I need to give that a proper name later. Rocket rotor. Rocket camera. Rocket launchers. These all need renaming. And I still need to get that renaming mod. Keep forgetting. I'll remember it eventually. So that's that's on. That's control. I forgot to open the flaps, so I can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Left and right are backwards. Azimuth. 10. 10. Left and right. Oh, up and down are backwards as well, because I don't like using inverted controls for weapons. For some reason, I like playing flight sims with inverted controls, but for weapon turrets, I absolutely hate it. I don't know why. I can't stand regular controls for flight sims, but I also can't stand inverted controls for turrets and weapons. Strange one. I think it might need a little bit more strength in those. 2.5. 10. Yeah, it's going to need more. Probably won't need 10 million. Give it 5 million. What about that rocket rotor? Let's do the same, because that's going to be supporting even more weight than that hinge. Yes, Marcus. Since playing on your server, I have come to see the benefit of it. A few people have suggested it to me. I've said, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually, and then I've actually used it on your server, and it's way better than doing it manually. I just need to remember to actually go and do it. I think I might try and remember to do it immediately after this stream. Oh, engineered. Yeah. It's a weird one. I used to play an awful lot of Elite Dangerous, to the point where I built myself a rudimentary little flight seat to use. Because I had a proper HOTAS flight stick set up. And yeah, I just absolutely hated having regular controls for it. I needed it to be inverted. And it really annoys me in games when there's only one control setup across all control systems. If you put it on inverted, you're playing your character inverted and you're flying your ships inverted, and that's it. You can't switch between the two settings. That annoys me. Hello, Creatio. I hope that's saying your name properly. I'm awful at pronouncing names. Right, so that looks like that's set up correctly now. Yeah, we are going to have to move all this crap. So what did I do with the controls for everything? That's the head, that's the Gatling guns. That's the auto cannons. That's nothing right now. Auto cannons on and off. Where did I put the rail cannon? On and off. Where did I hide them? Rail cannon on and off. Oh, they're behind me here. Right, so we'll use those two for the rockets. So that can be rocket launcher off. Copy all. Rocket launcher on. And then we needed a button for it, rear camera. That was going to be the on-off button. Because I don't just like having LCDs or whatever I'm using as a trigger sitting on the toolbar. Paste. That gets to be rocket launcher on off. Then we needed. It's going to be the event controller direct under that, isn't it? Yeah. It's the one that is going to control our on and off switch. Rocket launcher on and off. Right, we can build this thing now. We can program it. Right, we got all the rocket bits. Let's rename some other stuff to make it easier. 1, 2, 3. Right. That's good. They're in order. 1, 2. Maybe I can color code. I could do. If I didn't want the interior to have a certain aesthetic vibe to it. I've done color codes before when you can't see the things, but I like to have as much of the functional stuff on display inside the cockpit, and if I start painting all these things red and green and blue and pink and purples and stuff, it'll look like a rainbow in here and it won't be as cool. And I'm a sucker for looking cool, which is why I use naming systems instead most of the time, just so I can type in a simple word like walk or rocket or rail, and I can find all the bits that I need in the control panel. I also like to take the time to lay everything out in a particular order as well, and try and cluster certain functions together. Which is why, like, all of this stuff here is rail cannon stuff. All of this stuff here is rocket stuff. Most of this stuff here is all of that's like the head, and all of that's the auto cannons. Oh, and the head, because there's two controllers for the head. But yeah, I like to try and lay stuff out in a bit of a logical and aesthetically pleasing kind of way. I didn't used to care, and then Keen started making really pretty looking blocks, and I thought I could actually use them as detail as well as functionality. Like those new programmable blocks that came out with one of the DLCs, the ones that look like a little, like, old school, like CRT, like computer terminal. I really like them because they're like a little blocky, chunky thing. They fit quite well into certain gaps. So we've got the rocket launcher set up. Controls then. Point of reference, let's have a look at what we did with the rail cannon. So it's usually a good idea to start with the on one. So we set all of our limits and turn the velocities off. We've activated everything first. Probably should have done that the other way around, but it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, we'll do it the same way. So, turn everything on, set the limits. on. I'm going to be typing that word a lot, so let's copy and paste it, make my life easier. So, rocket launcher on, AI on, and then we'll have the lights, the camera, and then the action turn on. Are there? Oh, well, there's 2 rocket lights named 01. And yes, there are 2 rocket launchers named 01. Thank you for spotting that. Because I forgot to change some of the names over. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. In fact, I'll do that the other way around, because 1 is going from the inside. And I get a bit OCD like that. I spot little mistakes. Yeah, cool. Right, thank you for spotting that. 1, 2, 3. Ah, they're already in the right order anyway. Thank God for that. They're not, though. That's going to bug me. I hate it when things are the wrong way around. There we go. Right, then. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm happy to have people point out my mistakes. I hate making mistakes, and I'm glad when I can correct them. The best way to learn is from mistakes. Get it wrong 1,000 times, you know 1,000 different ways of how not to do it. Then you whittle your way down to the correct answer that way. So we've turned all of them on. We want to set our limits. So what limits did we set in the first place? -15 for the lower limit on that. And what was the upper limit? 35. Set upper limit 35. Rocket's hinge, what did we have? -45. And 10. Because we don't want it to be able to shoot the back of its own head. And then we want to reset the velocity on both of them. Just so it doesn't start moving or doing stuff. And... oh yeah, and we need to open up the flaps on the side. Don't we? Yes. That is -7 to open it. And -7. Oh, and I need to rename them as well. Metal Gear Zeke, Metal Gear Zeke, and Metal Gear Zeke. So, when I trigger that, it opens the flaps. Why are those lights blinking? Oh, yeah, I know why they're blinking, because they're blinking on the other design. I don't want them blinking on this one. Let's take all of that out. Let's take that out. There we go. Cameras on, guns are on, lights are on, flaps are open. Oop. Then if we take control of that with its flaps open, yeah, we've got plenty of clearance, not going to smash the flaps on anything. Hoping the head can't move far enough back for that to be a problem, but we'll find out in a bit. Yeah, right. That's cool. Okay, so what do we do for rail cannon off? When we turn that off, we turn off all the lights, the cameras, and the action, and then it's just rotate back to 0. Simple as that. Cool. Rocket off. Nope, I copied and pasted something else. So, block off, AI off, lights camera action off. And we need to set velocity on that back to 7 and 7 so that the flaps close back up. And then rotate to 0 at 5 RPM. It's a nice, reasonable speed. I could always do that, Asia. Let him end it all if he feels he's done a disservice. Will this mech have kind of jump jets? I don't know. Does Zeke have jump jets? I can't remember. I try to keep the mechs as close to the source material as possible, so if they fly, I try and make them fly. If they can't, I generally leave them to it and just let them be walkers. I can't remember if Zeke could fly or not, or jump. What I'm doing flying thrusters, flying mechs, is those thrusters add a whole extra bunch of weight. And if you're building a biped that you want to fly as well, you have to take into consideration where you're putting all of that weight, and you have to kind of evenly distribute it, because if it gets too heavy on one side or the other, it'll tip over. Right, so that can rotate back to 0 at 5 degrees, and if we hit that, it closes everything up and moves it back to there. Fantastic. So if we take the rocket launcher, do a little bit of testing, it can target friends, small grids, and characters. And that way, when I turn it on, it should aim at some of the blocks somewhere. Not sure what it's trying. Oh, it's trying to aim at that down there rather than the Metal Gear unit that's directly in front of it. Whatever. Stupid AI. Right, and then that can turn off again. That can, yeah, right. That system works now. Fantastic. Right, rocket launch controls. I need an on-off button. What did we do? We did that for the rail cannon. So we'll do that one down there for the rocket. It's everything. Should have. Oh, I need to make one for the rail cannon properly. Let's sort that out quickly. Rail cannon display. That one's the rocket one. What did we do with the other displays? Did I call them signs or did I call them displays? I called them online. That's what I did. So we did size 3, red, 38. Cool. So, content, text and images. Size 3. Rail. I'll just call it Railgun. No, I've called it Rail Cannon everywhere else. Do it slightly different. Rail Cannon. Different ones. Rail Cannon online. I'll do it slightly differently for the big turrets. Look at that format. Something like that. Make it big and red in the center. Going to be different because it's a different amount of different rows of letters. 25 maybe. Yeah, it looks more in the middle. Cool. So we do the same thing for the rocket display. Text and images. Oh, cheers, Avalos. No worries, dude. Oh yeah, no worries, man. I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm happy to try and convey all the mad nonsense I come up with in a way that makes sense to other people, hopefully. Rocket launcher. Helps me turn the thing on. There we go. So what was that? 25 in the center. Danger. I like to check that just to make sure. Cool, and then we can use the middle 3 for HUD display. So, in fact, let's zoom out so we can see. Rocket. Control switch. Right, so this is going to be block switched on and off. It is going to be... why can you never find that thing? I'll do it that way. Rocket display. Go a long way around. So then we can turn off the off timer, turn off the on timer, turn on the on, turn on the off, trigger the on, and trigger the off. Oop, nope, just screwed that up. Trigger the on and trigger the off, like that. So we've got off, on, trigger for both sets of timers. And now, if we flick that sign on and off, turns on and off. You know what? I might actually want that to open quicker. I want it to close nice and slow because I don't want it to clang, but it can open quicker. So if we make that -10 instead. That sign turning on. Yeah, probably get it to open even quicker than that actually, but we'll fiddle around with that in a little bit. The last thing to do was make the actual toolbar button, because I don't like having the display as the toolbar icon. And it also means we've got a way of preventing the entire system being turned on and off if we wish. So we just take a timer, take that sign that we set up, stick an on-off action on it, and that is it. So now we can just trigger this timer, and that trigger timer is now an on-off button for our rocket launcher. Cool. Right, we can do a bit more greebling on that in a minute, but that's nice and set up. That's been an hour and a half. Well, what's left of my cup of tea has gone cold, so I'm going to quickly go and grab another one and have a little bio break, but I'll be back in 5 minutes. So, what can I do for 5 minutes to entertain people? In the meantime, we'll turn that on. We'll get him to follow me. I will just dampen to him. And then I'll do a bit of walking around like that. And we'll see how far he gets in 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere, I'll be back in a minute. See you soon. Right, hello again. I am back. How far did he get? You made it a decent way across the ice lake. Right, you can follow me back again then, mate. We're going back over here. We'll see you in a second. I'm not sure, actually, if the AI task blocks actually have a range limit like the offensive and defensive blocks do. Because I've done that before in other games where I've just left a mech following me. It'll get off about 3 kilometers in a different direction to do something else. And then heard a clunk, clunk, clunk of mech feet coming behind me, and they've somehow managed to reverse their way up a hill to still get back to me. So the AI task blocks are quite good. They will just follow you like a faithful puppy until they can find a way there. Okay, so we set that up. Can I do any more greebling on this rocket launcher to make it look more interesting? Oh yeah, we can paint the panels on the back of that like we've done the ones on the front for a start. There we go, that looks nicer. With a bit more detail. We can definitely fit some greebling into... Oh, I was going to use Rex as a reference point, but you're still half a kilometre away. Yeah. Well, I know one thing that I want to do immediately. I want to put a heat vent in there. I like the way the heat vents look. Even if the mech isn't really drawing enough power to make it look that good. Because these mechs, for the size of them, they're actually quite fuel efficient these days, for the amount of power they output. Because I'm only using ion thrusters to trigger the warp controls, and ions in atmosphere have severely reduced output, but it's still enough to trigger an event controller, so the power output of these mechs is actually barely noticeable. Where's that? Oh, have I left the auto cannons on? I did. It's doing weird stuff, that was why. Yeah, I think we need to increase the strength of them a little bit as well. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, so we've got that. I put that heat vent in there. Rocket launcher heat vent. Put that for now. There you go. I'll set it with a really, really low one, and it'll actually respond a little bit, at least. You know what, I might set it higher than that. Idling pretty close to that already. Let's call it 10. Yeah, because it uses so little output, it barely does anything. I need to use stronger thrusters just to get a reaction out of it. There's 7. Yeah, that responds a little bit better. Oh, here comes Rex, because I forgot to put a collision detection sensor on him. Barging his way through. Come on. Get out of the way. There we go. Oh, you know what, I've got a button for you, haven't I? Where's your button? Is it that one? It was that one. Fantastic. Right. what else did we do on this rocket launcher then? We had... Oh yeah, we put some indicator lights on them as well, didn't we? So that I know when things are empty, reloading, charging, and things like that. There's more work I want to do on the rail cannon as well. Yeah, okay, what if... Where's my lights? Where's my lights? I'm gonna take them out of there. Replace them with the inset lights. Like that. Because this one has got a couple of event controllers in it that measure the charge capacity of the rail cannon, the rail guns. Because rail guns store charge in the same way batteries do, and can be measured by event controllers in the same way. So you can use a pair of event controllers to create a visual indicator of your battery charge. Depending how complex and how many event controllers you want to throw in. We can do something like that for that side. And then I wanted to do something similar, because on Rex, obviously rocket launchers don't have a charge level. Oh, my internet signal is going a bit squiffy. There we go, I think it's back to normal-ish. Yeah, what was I saying? Because rocket launchers don't have a charge level you can measure, I have set it up to measure the container storage of them. So when all the rocket launchers are empty and they're refilling, the lights will switch from green to orange. So we'll do a similar thing on Zeke. Copy that light. Where are we going to put it? I do need to move all these along to do the AI controls in a minute, but for now, I'll just stick that there. Turn the cannon on. In fact, we will turn the cannon off again. We'll stop it targeting friendlies, because I don't want it moving about while I'm trying to do things. Yeah, I'm not going to have the room to stick those lights inside. I do have space above and below, though. Like that. Do that. And that. Have the full light at the top. I keep thinking Rex is behind me. He's not. He's over here now. And then we have the empty indicator down there. Yeah, that was quite good to me. I leave his rail cannon switched on. Oh, I left them all switched on. Rail cannon off, Gatling off. Cool. Right, so more event controllers is what I need. What did I use as the feet? rotor heads, sort of. I made a mod that adds rotor heads to the end of suspension blocks because the wheels on suspension blocks are indestructible, basically. And adding block, or rather, editing a suspension block to spawn something else on the end also imparts that invulnerability onto that thing. So basically, those rotor heads are indestructible, like wheels, the wheels on suspension blocks are. But you can build off these, you can't build off wheels. So I made it to basically create a footpad mod. Because as I've mentioned before, suspension blocks are hit and miss as footpads for small grid designs. Mostly because the friction settings are a little bit too strong. And a little bit too grabby with the floor for a lot of small grid designs. They work fine for like really big, like Pacific Rim Jaeger sized things, or Warhammer Titans, things like that. But for small grids, they're not that great. So yeah, I made this mod instead. Benefits are you can build off them. Downsides are they don't have any friction like wheel setting, the wheel blocks do. The wheels seem to have their own unique coding when it comes to the friction, and I don't know enough about that side of things to really do much with that, but I do know just enough to spawn different blocks on the suspensions. So I'm doing that in the meantime. Like I said, I try and do all this stuff as vanilla as possible, but there's certain circumstances where you just can't do it in the vanilla way. Other than just turning off damage, and then you can't. What's the point of having a robot fight if you can't actually make the robots smash each other to pieces? But on that same note, the last thing you want is to have a robot fight where they're smashing themselves to pieces as they walk, because blocks aren't particularly strong in SE1, which is a reason why I'm really excited about when subgrids are finally going to get added to Space Engineers 2, because Space Engineers 2 has that 20 meters a second damage limiter. That by itself is going to make a huge difference to mech design in Space Engineers 2. Because you won't necessarily have to rely on workarounds for the feet. 20 meters a second is actually really fast for how quickly mech legs move. So I get the feeling you'll be able to build walkers a lot easier in SE2 when subgrids become a thing, because they won't just immediately smash themselves to pieces as they're walking. You'll actually be able to build something that can walk on blocks, which will be cool, because you kind of can do it in SE1, but once you start getting too big, there's too much mass and velocity and force involved, and it all just starts smashing itself to pieces, which isn't good. Right, so event controllers, where should I put them? That's that. Me being me, I want them to be somewhere aesthetically pleasing if they're going to be on a display. Oh, in fact, I need two for either side. You know what? I'll just do two of them here and here, because I need a rail charge and a rail empty, and I need a rocket full and a rocket empty. Yeah, that'll work. That'll be fine. Oh, sorry, what's that? How did I... Oh, sorry, I missed your message there. I just explained all of that, yeah. Yeah, you can't, you can manually attach rotor heads to suspension blocks in vanilla game. It is just incredibly clangy and very difficult to do, and causes a whole bunch of problems trying to do it that way. Doing it the modded way makes the rotor head spawn in the correct position, in the correct orientation. Doing it the vanilla way sucks the rotor head right into the back of the suspension block. Essentially, if you try and manually connect them, it uses the front of the block as the rear connection point, so it pulls the rotor head through the suspension, and then anything you connect to the front of that rotor, it pushes the whole thing further and further back. So you end up with this weird subgrid sticking out the back of the suspension rather than the front. It's messy doing it the vanilla way. So I spent a couple of days reading up about SBC files and how to edit them, and a bit of trial and error. Made a whole mod pack for it that's on my Steam and Mod.io pages. It's got all the variables of both sets of wheels if you've got the DLC, and it spawns a small rotor head on the top of them. Right, so what was I doing? Oh yeah. Rail charge and rockets. Now, what did we do over here on Rex? Where are they? Hello, tiny cats, you're back again. Grace us with your presence. Come on then. Come on. Yes, madam. There you go. Right, you're happy now. Bum 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 bum. I don't know if anyone heard my cat meowing on mic then. She's very vocal when she wants to be. Ah, there we go. Railgun charge. So when that gets over 99, it does that. Yeah, that's the one. And then we had, where's the other one? Sorter, hinge, rotor. Actually, I only have the one for that side. Oh, yeah, I was doing it slightly differently. I'm thinking of a different setup. Oh, you did hear her then, yeah. Yeah, she's a little madam. She's the quietest thing in the world until she wants something, and then she is very, very vocal. But she's also the smallest cat in the world, so it's just funny when she starts getting bossy and demanding, because she's absolutely tiny. And she's insisting on sitting right under my microphone and rubbing her face on the cable. Please stop it. Thank you. Right, so I did that differently. I was thinking of a different project I'm working on, so we are just going to adapt rail cannon. There we go. Trying to type too fast. Rail cannon. Charge. Because yeah, the way I've done it on Rex is a bit of an experiment. I've since refined it and made it a little bit different on another design I'm working on. Yeah, they are all demanding little tarts. Cats. It's funny because I've got two cats. They're brother and sister, and they're the complete opposites of each other in a lot of ways. She is silent but deadly and barely makes a sound, and the other one is just an attention-seeking swear word. He is very, very, very attention-seeking. And a ridiculous baby. But he's huge. He's a massive, massive cat. Right, that can be charged. And then that one can be empty. And what we're going to do with these is rail cannon, charge and empty. There we go. You know what, actually, to make that a little bit easier to find, I'm going to have them as charge full and charge empty. Otherwise, they are going to end up in different parts of this list and it's going to annoy me trying to go back and forth. So, we can select stored power and we can select the railguns. And this can measure the stored power in the railguns, much like it can do in the batteries. And that will be stored power greater than 99, because using the end points can be funny sometimes. Oh god, yeah, Marcus. They are funny when they're at that age, when they're getting bigger, but they still think they're tiny little kittens. I've had mine for 5 years now, and the bigger of my two cats, he weighs about 6 kilos. He's a big chunk, and he still can't grasp that he isn't like teacup sized anymore. He gets really frustrated when he tries to squeeze into places that he used to be able to and can't anymore, and just doesn't seem to be able to grasp that he's 10 times the size he was 5 years ago. Whereas the other one's barely changed. She's still not much bigger than a kitten, but I'm pretty sure she was the runt of her litter, so she's tiny. Right, so that can be charged full. That, into space removing. That can be pretty much the same thing the way around. It is going to be less than... Oh yeah, because the idea I was working on was a failsafe, so when it gets to less than 50... Because unlike a battery slowly discharges its stored power over a short period. A railgun basically immediately discharges everything, so it'll go from 0 to 0 in like a single tick. So I have that like that. Yeah. And have that like that, and that's looking at the two railguns, and we'll stick the AND gate on so it only reacts when both of them are doing it. And then when the railguns are fully charged, it will turn the full light on and the low light off, and then when it drops below, it will turn the charge light back on and that back off, and then this controller is essentially a fail-safe indicator in case that one doesn't do what we want it to do. Railgun equals capacitor, basically, yeah. It just stores a whole lot of charge. I like that though, that it basically uses the same battery mechanics, so you can do things like this. It's essentially just a gun with a battery attack. Oh, no worries, Engineered Coffee. You have fun, man. Try and enjoy your work meeting as much as possible. I know they can be rather tedious. What time is it for me? Oh, it's only 8 o'clock in the evening. That's fine, I've got plenty of time left. So, stored power. This one is going to be a bit different. This one... Ah, no worries, Marcus. So, there's a problem with time zones. Everybody's all in different parts of the world. Sometimes they can watch, sometimes they can't. It annoys me having to watch split-sea streams sometimes, because I have to stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning for some of them. Because all those Australian guys are on the complete opposite time zone. Right, so for the rail off, or the rail charge, I basically just wanted to... Oh, and she's off again. See you later, madam. for this one, I want it to... I definitely want it to turn that on. And I definitely want it to turn that one off. And then we're going to put that the other way around on the other side. That can be off. That can be on, because then no matter which side of that gets triggered, yeah, that should be okay. Right, let's turn the lights off and see if that works. So, Gatling gun, rail cannon on, select rail cannon. Why rail cannon? Oh, it won't fire because there's no ammunition in it. This is why, when I'm designing and building stuff like this, I prefer to use survival mode with creative tools turned on than do it in creative mode, because creative mode just pushes everything at max power, and you get no sense of actual practical like balance in power or mass or volume and things like that. So occasionally I have to do things like this and manually put ammunition into stuff. Bum 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 bum. Small sabos, that's what I'm looking for. There we go. Small railgun sabos. 100 of them. Bung them in there. That'll do. Oh, missed. Right, railgun on, railgun control, railgun fire. Orange light has come on. Let's watch that tick back. So when the railguns recharge, it should go green again. Ding, green, yay. And then if we fire it, it goes orange. Cool. Right. I'm happy with that. That can stay like that. And then we won't have it turn on and off. We'll have those lights stay on all the time, because then we know that that railgun is not charged. When we turn it on, it needs a second to charge back up. Then it'll go green, and that gun is now recharged and ready to use. Cool. So basically, no, I'll just leave those running for now. I won't tie them into the weapon controls. I don't need them to turn on and off with everything else. Yeah, we'll leave that like that. So, we'll do the same thing for the rocket side. Did I name anything? I did not. Controller, rocket, full, for now. We'll tidy the names up later. Empty. You know what, in fact, we'll put in a little tag on the front of that as well. So they stay next to each other. In the toolbar, that needs renaming. That's Metal Gear Zeke. That can get a tag. That can get a tag, and that can get a tag. Right, everything is MGZ. Cool, right, so this will actually be the default one for a start. They'll both be cargo filled. So when cargo is less than 1%, measure the cargo of the rocket launchers. When that is less than 1%, Rocket full. Oh, I need to rename another one of them. Yeah, so when it's empty, the rocket empty light will turn on. Rocket full light will turn off. That will turn off and that will turn on there. So for rocket full, it's got too many spaces in it. There we go. When they are full, did I select things? No, I didn't. Rocket launchers, add them. Oh, hey Chad, how are you doing, man? I am all good. I am just continuing building this Metal Gear unit. And waiting for the new update to come out. So what was I doing? Rocket lights. That's what we're doing for this one. So this is rocket full, isn't it? Yeah. So when this gets full, that will turn on, that will turn off. When it's empty, and that will turn off when it's full and turn off when it's empty again. So it should be something like that. Oh, I also need to sort out the ammo sorter for the rocket controls, and I need to change that to a Z. Where was the ammo sorter? There it is. Whitelist, rockets only. Yeah, there we go. Because I've also been working on. I've also been working on a mod. I'm still testing it just to make sure it's all working properly. I've been working on a mod to make all ammo fit through small grid tubes because it annoys me that rockets can not go through a small grid tube, yet an assault cannon shell can, and the size difference between them is negligible, really. So yeah, I've been making a small ammunition mod so I can feed rockets into the launcher through the small tubes and actually make this thing work. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to put a reloadable rocket launcher in there. It just wouldn't work. Like Engineer Coffee mentioned, they've made mention of some new light settings. In vain with like the new set parameter things that like pistons and rotors and hinges have gotten. So that'd be quite cool. I'm also kind of looking forward to the smaller tank blocks that they've teased, like the small oxygen tanks and things like that. Just because it'd be much nicer to have smaller storage for things like that. Like the amount of small grid ships I've made that need to have oxygen that are unnecessarily large because the only oxygen tank options we've got at the minute are 3x3 blocks. And they're just too big for most designs, especially if you only need like a little runabout fighter. But you only need to be out for 10 minutes, and it's slightly longer than personal oxygen bottles will last. It's frustrating having to build a gigantic thing just for that, so yeah, the small tanks will be another cool one. And honestly, I haven't seen much else other than a few things that have been mentioned in Keenan live streams and the teasers that they've done, but they have a tendency to always come out with at least a couple of really interesting looking cosmetic blocks, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on that side of things. because I like having different cosmetic blocks to just greeble away and create details and stuff. Right, so the sorter is sorted. Guntish. Right. That was all sorted. Everything was good to go. I just need to put rockets in it to test it, don't I? I also need to name that connector. Oh, hang on, didn't I put rockets in there? No, I didn't, because I was about to, and then realised I needed to do the rocket sorter. Prototech, radio, reactor, rocket, spawn. Stick a bunch of them in there. Is that rail sorter actually pulling stuff? Did I not set that up? No, I did not. Wish list. Wish list? Whitelist. Small sabos. There we go. Drain all. Metal Gear Zeke. Model 1. Docking port. There you go. And it is now... Right, they've all been pulled. And that's full of rockets. That is fine. Cool. Alright, we'll turn the rocket launcher on. I'm gonna have to at least put that on there. Sorter, we'll just keep feeding that until it runs out. I shouldn't have put that many in. There we go, we are now empty and it has turned orange. To indicate that it is now run out of ammo, stick a bunch more of them in there. And it's turned green to indicate that it's full of ammunition again. Sweet. Yeah, cool. That'll do. Fantastic. Right, got some little indicator lights there now, so we know what guns are working and what's full of ammo and what isn't. Right, we can turn the lights back on. We can see what we're doing again. Right. Okay, I need to sort out this toolbar a little bit, because all this stuff is in the wrong place. It all needs to be a page further along. I wish there was an easier way of getting rid of this stuff. So that's going to be basic operational controls, turning everything on and off and docking. That is going to be AI controls and auto walk and stuff like that. So page 3, that's where we'll start the head controls. So we'll have that there. We will have control that. We will have turn the AI on and off. View the camera if we just want to look through the camera rather than control the head. Yeah, Tybor. I like to use lights. The only problem with using too many lights in SE is they cause havoc with the frame rate. If you've got too many blinking lights doing all kinds of stuff. But they're also a really good way of creating visual indicators and on-off switches for stuff that can double up as a visual indicator as well. So I usually end up making my robots look like a light show with blinking lights all over them. And if there's new light settings coming, who knows what I'd be able to do with that. But yeah, I tend to have quite a lot of pretty lights on my designs. Speaking of which, I need to get some of them in the cockpit of Zeke, because Rex has a bunch of lights on the inside. So we've got these two cyan lights. They indicate which leg is moving forwards. I need to put in a failsafe that turns them both off, though. I've forgotten to do that on Zeke. The two red lights indicate when the feet are connected to the floor, because they've got sensors on the bottom that detect voxels and have a failsafe in place for the walk cycle, so it can't just continue trying to step in midair. And then we've got some lights at the side for left and right, and then we've got some lights at the sides for front and back. So I like to have all kinds of visual controls, visual indicators for the controls, just so you know what's working and what's not. Comes in handy for troubleshooting as well. So if something isn't on that should be on, you know something hasn't worked. And vice versa, if something's on that shouldn't be, you know something hasn't worked. So I need to figure out where I'm going to get some lights into the front of Zeke as well. I also want to try and sort out the new AI balance control system I've been working on, so that they can't tip over and they always try to correct themselves. Because Rex has got a bunch of gyros and some AI blocks on a subgrid in the middle of his body, and they have enough strength to tip the entire mass of the whole mech back over. As you can see, I am just holding down the forward and the left key trying to make him tip over, and the AI blocks keep correcting it and making him level back out. And it's actually incredibly hard to make him tip over now. He can look like he's about to go a bit janky when he's turning. The AI blocks will catch it, because there's always a little bit of a wind up with the AI and the gyros figuring out what they're doing. But yeah, it's working quite well. So I'm literally just holding backwards and right now, trying to make him tip over forwards, and the AI blocks keep catching it. So I need to put that into Zeke eventually as well, and see if I can squeeze that in somewhere. Right, so things to do. Oh, internet signal, don't be crap on me, please. Thank you. So we've got some AI blocks in there for later. We've got plenty of gyros. I think we'll be able to... Oh, we've already done the AI testing, didn't we? We did that in the last episode. Or the last stream. So that'll be fine. Bum 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 bum. Let's sort out this cockpit a bit more, because now that I've got a rough idea of the overall shape, I can sort out the top of it now and close it all up a bit. Yeah, because we were going to put a sci-fi door in there, weren't we? Because I had a choice of doors. I really want more small grid doors. We've only got 2. And they're both pretty good, but I want more variety. Because that one has a lip at the bottom, because it doesn't have an actual bottom to the door, so you've always got that lip to contend with somewhere. And that one's offset so you've always got to contend with that. I'd really like some more variety. I'd love a version of this door that's central, because it looks really good. And it's got a border all the way around, so it doesn't expose blocks like that one does. But I want to use that one for this, because it looks a little bit fancier. Also, while we're at it, why do the sides of this not why is that not a connection point? Just why? Why is that bit? I can understand the door not being a connection point. That makes perfect sense. But why is this bit not a connection point? Why? Like, it's not like it's even, like, beveled or inset or anything. It's literally just not a connection point. Annoying. Yeah, because we can have that. Oop. All the wrong buttons. Yeah, we can have that like that. And then we can have an event controller to automatically close that behind us. Then we've got some space up there. We can stick some indicator lights. Oh yeah, we can stick some indicator lights on those timers. That's where we can put all of them. I'm happy with that idea. So that can go there, that can go there. That can get filled in. And then we can greeble the top of that in a little bit. And work out some ideas for it. Yeah, I'm going to move that as well. In fact, let's do that now. Let's move that in line with that. With that there. Take that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even numbered gaps. Ugh. Even numbers. Mech with a... that's why I like this door, because it's got like a little sunroof kind of thing in it. Over the other door. I mean, the other door's good as well. I've used the other door on a lot of my like armored core type designs, and the Mao mechs I made a while ago. But yeah, I think they look quite cool. I just really wish this was a connection point, so I could build on it without having to build across it to cover it up. Right, so... We haven't got any spare event controllers left in here. Oh, we do. 2. Where are they? Oh. Yeah, we can't use those ones because they are going to be for AI controls. We're going to leave them where they are. So you know what, let's just build them behind us, because I need to fill in this space anyway, as that is going to be filled in anyway. So that also needs a layer there, just for a bit of extra protection. So we could technically go that far back and have a big open space. Or we could close it in a bit more. Yeah, you know what, I don't want it that closed. I might put another layer of armor in there, so... oh, actually, I need to... oh no, I'll put the AI blocks up there. They're alright, they're already in line. Yeah, that's fine. Cool, so... controller. So, pilot seat controller. Oxygen support. Yeah, again, this is why I really want this new update to come out, because it's got tiny oxygen tanks. If I wanted to put oxygen support in this, I would need to put a great big 3x3 lump somewhere in this thing, and I haven't got that space left anymore. Whereas, what are they in that sneak peek trailer? They look like a 2x1 block. Like, I could fit as many of those oxygen tanks into this design as I liked. I could squeeze them everywhere. The current small grid oxygen tanks we've got are just too damn big. Again, hydrogen tanks, the little 2x2 ones we've got, they're a bit chunky for small grid, maybe, but they're at least workable, and you've got a 3x3 variant as well. Or is it 5x5? Big hydrogen tank, it's 5x5, isn't it? But you've at least got a small and a big option with the hydrogen tanks. WO2 tanks, you've got chunky or nothing. So this controller pilot seat is going to look at when I get in and out of the cockpit, and when I get in and out of the cockpit. Hang on, let's name that door. Access door, we'll call it that for now. Pilot seat, so when I get in, it will close that door. There we go. It closes automatically behind me. And I could have it automatically open again, but then you have to always manually remember to close the door behind you again. It's a pain. Whereas if you have it not manually, automatically reopen again, it just pops me out there, apparently. Oh, that's because there's a thinner layer between there and there. Yeah, I'm going to have to fill that in, because that might prevent me from popping out the back like that. Let's put some blocks in there. Oop, not that one. Let's go another one further. Difference does that make? Nope, still pumps me out the back. Whatever. Either way, it works. More or less as intended. Right. Okay, now we've got all that stuff. Let's do another walk test. Because I've added quite a chunk of mass to either side of this thing now. Just want to make sure it still works. And it can still support its own weight. Ooh, yeah, that's the back edge of that rotor, isn't it? Well, it's still standing up. Yeah, you're still having a few issues gripping the floor. Hang on. Change any of the settings. Yeah, they are at the settings they were. I think I might need the feet to pitch back a little bit slower than the legs are moving forward. So at the back of the feet. Oh. Game spike. What are you doing, game? Thank you. Yeah, I still think I need to adjust the feet settings. Yeah, and that's why I've got the sensor controls on the feet on Rex, so it doesn't start skipping like that. Yeah, because I need the back of those blocks to actually dig into the voxels a little bit. When it gets completely flat, it then starts, yeah, losing grip, leaning forward slightly, and not quite creating enough forward momentum. Yeah. Probably also just needs to be heavier on the back. There's a lot of weight on the front, but at least he still walks, and at least he still balances. And you can still turn around. Yeah, right. Let's set up the step sequence fail safe, because Rex has walk cycle stop controllers. Basically, I've got a controller that looks at a couple of lights, which are those red lights in the cockpit, and when both of those lights are on and active, it turns the walk cycle timer on and off, which basically means if both feet aren't touching the floor, he won't do step in his walk cycle. And those lights are being controlled by a pair of sensors. There's one on the bottom of each foot, and when that sensor is triggered, it turns the light on and off, and that light turning on and off is what triggers the event controller. So I need to put, I can't see it from this angle because I've covered the feet up. Spectator mode. There we go, there is a sensor on the bottom of each of Rex's feet. So we need to do the same thing with Zeke. Hello, Christoph Linda. You're so confused all the time as to why no robot engineer uses magnetic plates and event controllers to attach feet to the ground. My testing showed those would make them walk more rigid. That is a question I get all the time, and the main reason is clang. Clang, clang, clangy explosions. In theory, on small grid things with very little subgrids, it's usually alright. The problem with magnetic plates is there is a delay between a timer or event controller sending a signal to a block, that block performing the action, and then the action actually kicking in. Mag plates and landing gear are really bad for it. They've got a big delay. It's only a couple of ticks, a few nanoseconds essentially. It is long enough for the feet to lock down in a weird position, or not unlock properly when you want it to, because again there's a slight delay in the signal. And for some designs, it can end up with the legs ripping each other to pieces at the hips, as one leg is stuck one way and the other leg is trying to go the other way, and they're both stuck to the floor because the mag plates have spazzed out and everything just tries to rip itself to pieces. I've done a bit of experimenting with it myself, and I have had mixed results at best. Which is why a lot of mech builders don't use them for that. Because in theory it'd be great, you could use it to climb walls or climb up any mountains you like, but mag plates and landing gear don't have a perfect collision. When they lock down, they don't always lock down perfectly at the right time. Sometimes they're alright coming down, but there you go, that one's locked at a weird angle. They don't always work properly, and that little difference can be the difference between your mech exploding and your mech being fine. So yeah, if they could speed up that delay between it actually touching the voxel and the auto lock kicking in, it'd probably be much better. Yeah, like I said, Christoph, if you're doing it at small scale, it's alright. If you're doing it on like some great big spider with 8 legs and it's got 8 separate mag plates all pulling in different directions, it just makes stuff explode. And I have learned that the hard way multiple times, because I've tried to make variations of my Tachikoma designs that can climb up walls, and they've only got 4 legs and they have clanged out too many times to be bothered trying to attempt it anymore. So yeah, that's kind of why that's at least why I don't use mag plates. Other people might have had better success. If you've got a big lumbering mech with a big slow walk cycle, it tends to work better because there's more time for the mag plates to lock down. If you've got some small little thing like a little spider mech that moves really quickly, the legs just don't have enough time. Oh sorry, I might have the mic a bit too close. Right, so what was I doing then? Oh yeah, right, so talking about sensors. Sensors, there we go. So basically, we want a sensor on the bottom of each foot. That is set up kind of similar to that one, because the foot is a single block and then a rotor and a head. So, oh actually that's in setter block, isn't it? We might have to fiddle with the sensor settings, that's fine. So that can be that, and we will call it MGZ. And we'll do the same with that, and then that can be the right hand side. Right, we need lights for them to trigger. This doesn't work without them. In fact, let's go into spectator mode, because I'm running out of space to maneuver in here. Right. Where should I put lights? I need one for the turn. Hang on, what do we have in Rex's head? We've got, yeah, one for the walk cycle, one for the walk stop, forward, backward, left and right, so I need 8 lights. Preferably in a nice symmetrical kind of pattern. You can only get 1 into that space. Do 1, 2, 3. No, because I'm going to build that up. That's going to be a wall there. Oh, actually. Oh yeah, there's no connection point at the bottom of those, is there? That's irritating, and that'll cover up the screen. Ugh, no connection point. That is irritating. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have you know, we'll do it like that. So we'll have one either side of that. One either side of that. And because the mirroring is broken on these lights, that hasn't placed a single one on this side. Right, we'll do that. I did set it up to look at that light on the leg there, but I might change it so it's inside the cockpit instead. So that the actual switch that operates the legs is slightly more protected. Yeah, so we'll do those ones there. In fact, I'll just copy the details from this one, because I'm going to move it. I'm going to change it. So that can be walk light, that can be walk light, right hand side. Insert light in the wall behind. I considered it, but I might want to use all that space for actual functional blocks, whereas because I've got this gap here, I can stick lights in there and a little bit of greebling. So I think I'm going to go with them there. The inset lights are good for that sort of thing. I think I want to use this space for more automation eventually. Right, so that's that'll be those lights. Those are the ones that we actually want at the moment. So that can be that. Let's change that tag while we're here. Z, copy all. Copy, paste, right hand light. Okay, right, then we need another event controller for the stop control. That is going to be our failsafe. So walk, hang on. Controller, walk, stop. Because I haven't thought of a better term to use yet. Right, so what these are going to do then? Oh yeah, let's just make sure these sensors. I didn't name the other one, did I? No, I didn't rename it. There you go. So these two sensors, let's just turn that on and turn that on. Yeah, so basically when that field detects voxels, it turns the walk cycle timer on. And when it doesn't detect voxels, it turns it off again. And that way it stops the mech from just trying to walk in midair and keel over. If its both feet leave the ground, it will temporarily stop the walk cycle. And hopefully restart it again in time for it to tick over again. So, walk stop controller. This is going to be block switched on and off, and gate. It's going to look at these two lights, and when they are both on, it will take our walk cycle timer, which is essentially the boiled down trigger that controls the whole step sequence. It will turn that on and off. And I need to really put the stop tag in there. So the left hand one will trigger the left hand stop light. And the right hand one will trigger the right hand stop light. And in theory, when we put it on the floor, probably need to double check that the sensors are set up correctly. I can get it off. Alright, both of those are on the floor. Both of those sensor fields should be triggered, which means the cycle block should be on. And then if I stick that there, and the two stop lights there and there, we can see if it's working properly. And we'll know if it's working properly. There you go, it's turned off. There you go. If he tips back too far and both feet leave the ground, it will stop the walk cycle until both feet are comfortably back on the floor again. And then we just need to make the balance control system to make sure that he's always pretty much trying to stay level. So, there we go. Yep, that's working. Because yeah, if we spun around like that and the walk cycle couldn't stop, he would just kick his foot forward and then he'd fall even further backwards. That way we can stop him from doing that. And we'll also have a visual indicator in here as these lights turn on and off. Cool, that bit works. Let's move the walk cycle lights out of the legs and into the cockpit. I might leave that there to flick on and off, but I want the actual control ones to be the ones in here. So, walk cycle. Walk lights. Oh, you know what, actually, I'm going to change the colour of that. That can be leg light L01, and the other one can be leg light R01. Need to do leg light R01. Oh, hey Christoph, sorry I didn't see a question there. What's that? Probably another stupid question often asked. What if you use wheels to brake with the handbrake? Wouldn't this work much better than plain blocks? Again, that comes back to suspension blocks being a little bit overzealous for small grid builds. Stuff like that, totally viable on a large grid builds. I have used handbrake controls as a way of turning friction on and off and stuff like that on some larger grid designs. Totally works that way, totally fine. On small grid, wheels are just too grabby on the voxels, and yeah, it's just a personal preference thing. They can kind of work like that. If you build something really big in small grid, it's alright. It's just a question of how the physics reacts with small grid and low mass grids. It's just a bit too much for it. The suspension blocks will grab the floor quite aggressively, and then kind of like the issues that you have with mag plates, you'll get a lot of clang in the legs as the suspension blocks are gripping the floor really tightly. and the small grid rotors and the mass struggle to fight against it. Yeah, it's one of those things. It works well in large scale. On smaller scale, it's a bit iffy. Because I do use suspension blocks for my large grid builds, for the feet, because they work quite well. But again, the wheel suspensions are really bouncy. So you've got like a low mass kind of build that walks quite quickly and like moves quite a lot of mass quickly. When it hits the floor, it just, yeah, it bounces and skips along like a kangaroo. Yeah, there's loads of trial and error involved in mech building, man. Everyone has different ways of doing stuff. All the other mech builders I know, we're always sharing ideas and then adapting them to other things and then doing other stuff with them. So, just trial and error. See what works for you, what doesn't. So what else did I need to do there? Oh yeah, walk lights. That's what we were doing. We were putting the walk lights in a different place. They are going to light up when we move, rather than indicate the actual walking. That's the stop lights, that's the walk lights, that's left, that's right. Then we need to change the control trigger on these blocks, because they are now leg lights rather than walk lights. So I'm going to swap that to that, remove that, swap that to that, and remove that. We'll do the same for the reverse controls, swap that over, remove that, and swap that one over and remove that, and hopefully it all still works the same. Nope, there's some screwy stuff going on there. Walk start. We fiddled with the lights there. Yes, we certainly did. Need to change that, because they now do nothing. Walk stop. So off, on, and then on, off to make sure that resets to the right position, and then reset. Did I turn those lights off again? I think we were supposed to, weren't we? And we forgot. So all those turn off anyway. Yeah, we'll turn them off. Walk lights off and off. There we go. Yeah. Making clanging noises because you've not got your weight of your legs supported. Right, then those lights turn on and off while we are in the cockpit. Let's get a better position there. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We can see what leg is moving forwards, because on means a leg is moving forwards, off means it's moving backwards. And then when they're both off, it means it's returned to the default position there. Cool. Right, so we also needed forward, backward, and left and right indicators. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I want to swap them around, because I want to be able to see. Oh, I can see them properly anyway from this position. Oh, then again, I could always move them to the sides, couldn't I? Oh. Oh, sorry, someone. Yeah, my mic's a little bit, It's a little bit temperamental. If I'm too close, it sounds like I'm eating it. If I'm too far away, it sounds like I'm standing on the other side of the room. Still trying to work out what the best position to sit in is. It also obscures the view of my keyboard a little bit. So I end up getting a bit too close, trying to look at where my keyboard is. Sorry about that. Yeah, I might move the lights actually. Aesthetic design meets engineering. Deciding what you want to do with stuff, because I've done it that way on there. Yeah, I'm gonna move them. Smag it. Move them again. It's not like it takes that long to sort out. Yeah, and this is the reason I like doing stuff like this the vanilla way as well, and using lights as switches. Because if you need to reprogram something or move it, it's a case of just deleting a light and changing a couple of actions in a controller. Whereas if a script breaks on you, you can't really do much unless the script author knows about it and sorts it out. So call that one. We'll have that as, in fact, just copy the settings from here. Oh, sound. Yeah, sorry about the volume. Like I said, my mic gets in the way and I get too close like that sometimes as I'm trying to find it, and then I forget that I'm leaning forwards. It was kind of easier when I used a crappy headset mic, because that was just in a consistent place, but it also meant I was tethered to my computer. And I nearly ripped it out the microphone port a couple of times forgetting that. Right, so walk light forwards. We're gonna have that. In fact, actually, nah, smeg it, I'm gonna leave it where it is. It's not you can really see them that well anyway. I'm just a bit OCD about my interior design as much as I am everything else. I like to greeble the inside of my mechs just as much as I like to greeble the outside of them. So that can be reverse, and those two at the bottom can be turned left and right, and then we'll just have to move everything again. Copy, paste. Change the tags on them in a minute. Do the stop controls. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. Internet. Give me a moment. My internet is jumping right now. Hopefully it will sort itself out momentarily. Right, there we go. Right, there we go. It looks like everything's back in the green again. Yes, right, everything looks to be back to normal again. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not the most professional, and I've not got the greatest setup, but I don't have a lot of money, so I work with what I can. Look, you're not going to find anyone else building robots, so yeah, it is what it is. Right. That's that. We needed to change the walk cycle back again, because I want to set up some forward controls. How long have I been doing this? 3 hours. I'll probably do another hour maybe, and then call it a night. So what have we got? Those are now the wrong things. We need that, and we need that. I need to change all of these again. Where are they? Walk. There we go. Move that. Walk. That. Let's get rid of that one. And the reverse controls. Left. Get rid of that. And then walk control right. Get rid of that. And then we had the stop and resets. Not that one. That's the wrong thing. There we go. Reset. We needed to change it to walk light. That one. Off and off. And start. Needed to be that off on to make sure it goes into the on position that way. And oh, that's because that's off, because that's triggered. Right, so that's working. Cool. Right, okay, that all works, and that is all in the correct position now. Yeah, we'll have those there, and then we can have the forward and the actual movement controls more in front of us. Oh yeah, someone, my setup is very cobbled together. If it were any more low-tech, it'd look like something out of Johnny Mnemonic. It's just a random assortment of screens and speakers and a microphone cobbled together. What's that you're saying? Yes, slowing down the walking pace is essentially part of the problem. Because with large grid mechs, you've got a larger mass moving at a higher velocity, and then that's obviously impacting the ground, suspension's kicking in, and then making it bounce back. Whereas with the large grid mechs, they've got enough mass and like downforce from gravity to hold itself down and not bounce as high. Whereas the small grid ones, because they're so light, they'll just spring up off the floor like a rabbit or a deer or a kangaroo. They'll just bounce about a lot of the time. It's really annoying, because they're just very bouncy, very bouncy. So I wanted to make walk control lights to tie into the walk controls. So when we trigger the walk forward timer, event controller, we are going to turn the walk forward light on and off, like so. So we know that we're pressing the forward controls. And then with the, where is it, it's reverse control. Oop, game lagging a little bit. Internet lagging a little bit. Don't be giving me any grief, please, thank you. Right, so when we click that one, and do the same thing, we can have the walk reverse light turn on and off. So when we hit the S key, that light's on, and when we release it, it turns off. Alright, give me 2 seconds. My internet is being moody again. Being very temperamental. You gonna settle down? Yeah. Okay. Right. I think that's settled down again. I need to sort out a hardline connection. Wi-Fi is not working for me at the moment. Right, so we've got reverse, we've got forward. Then we've got our turn controls. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we need to rename. So, turn, 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 and turn. That needs to be MGZ rather than MGR. They're all good. And controller left. And controller right. So, when we turn left, we want that LFT light to turn on and off. And when we turn right, we want the RGT light to turn on and off. So now, when we turn left, it does that. When we turn right, it does that. Now we have... yeah, so we can't see the lights directly, but they're close enough that we can see the light reflections. Cool, that'll do, mate. I'm happy with that. Solution, just place a huge amount of mass blocks to make the small grid robots less bouncy. That is kind of one of the solutions, really, is to just add extra mass. And try and weigh the damn thing down. That's one of the things I try and do with my small grid ones. You can obviously go a bit overboard and make it too heavy for the hinges and rotors to support the weight of it, but that is kind of one of the solutions, is just add extra blocks. I usually end up using heavy armor blocks in that case. Just because they're chunky and they add more protection to your mech. Yeah, that is a pretty good solution. Right, because we've almost finished off the basics of this cockpit. What have we got left? We've got that. That was going. I may have to call it quits on this stream pretty soon. My internet is getting really frustrated and moody. I'm not sure why. And there's not much I can do to resolve it mid-stream. Something's doing something and stealing bandwidth or messing with my connection. But I'll keep going as long as I can. If it all cuts out randomly, I do apologise. Open throne, let us invest in a new router for you. I do have a Patreon and I do have YouTube memberships, and I have been spending the money I've been getting, well, the little bit of money I've been getting from YouTube. I have been spending that on getting better stuff from YouTube. I have been spending that on getting better stuff to do all this with. Right. Come on, internet. Right. Come on, internet. Please be nice. I only want to do like another half hour or so. Just be nice. Let everybody watch it properly. Successfully reconnected. Okay. Right. We'll try the other internet connection that I have, and hopefully that one will behave. Right, so cockpit displays. What was this one going to be? Oh yeah, I usually stick targeting on that side. Metal Gear Zeke 01. Let's copy that from there. And that can be apps, actually, because it's now apps rather than anything else. Oh, I wish I could blame it on YouTube, Chad. I absolutely can't, unfortunately. It's the crap internet in my house and the crap internet you get in the crappy little town I live in. Yeah, I live right by the sea, so it's a little bit remote, and doesn't get the same level of internet access that other parts of the country do. So yeah, it's a bit crappy. I've got a crap internet connection at home, and I've got a crap 4G connection on my phone, and I kind of switch between the two depending on which one wants to work best on any given day. So we're going to have that set up to targeting info. And it helps have the cockpit set up properly. That one. Oh, we also need to add that tag to there. So that's... Oop, that's a horrible colour. Let's take that out. Let's take that out. Let's put my usual cockpit colour scheme in there. That actually seems to be working quite well today. That one gets to be cockpit display Doug HUD. A couple of letters over. Hug. I can't get it right. There we go. That's what I mean. I can't see my keyboard properly because of the microphone. Apps. Artificial Horizon. We'll use that. 150, 0, 255. There we go. That'll do that. Oh, I'd love it if someone gave me a new house with fibre. I hate this house I live in. It's from like it hasn't been updated since the 1970s, if not earlier. Like, put it this way: the house I live in is so old that we have 2 gas boilers in the house because legally the gas man is not allowed to remove one of them because it is so old. He hasn't got the technical know-how to touch it or do anything with it and isn't insured to. So we have 2 separate boilers in this house. One is about 70 years old and one is brand new. And we have to live with 2 separate water heating systems. It's ridiculous. Right, final one. So that one, well, I usually set up differently depending on what's what. What have I done on this one? Everything's offline when you're not in the seat. When you get in the seat, it all comes online. Oh yeah, power. I'd really like it if at some point Keen could update the apps or the programs or whatever you want to call them that we get on display screens these days. I'd really, really like some new ones or some variation, or maybe have a little bit of an update to the design of them. I'd really like it if they could work out a way to have like cargo storage and things like that visible on one of these apps. That would be amazing. Oh, I suppose it depends where you live, Chad. In the UK, it's quite common to have the water heating boiler like in the kitchen or stashed in a cupboard in the house somewhere. Like I said, in my house we have 2 side by side, taking up half a wall, because the gas man legally can't remove one. Right, so... Did I even name it? No, I didn't. I didn't get that far. It was that one. It was going to be... cockpit display... power. That's all we've got for now. Yeah, I wish you could get a few more apps, like a few more things here. Because they haven't really had an update in a long time. And with all the all the changes they've made to like event controllers and actions and things that the game can measure. I'm sure there's a way to get other things in here, because I don't really need to know the gravity in a mech. This one's never leaving the floor, so that one's pointless to me. I've already got targeting. Velocity is kind of negligible because it can only go at a fixed speed. So the only other really reasonable option is that. So we'll do that. And then we can have hang on. Cockpit displays. We can have them as a little group. That one, and that one. We can have them as a group. Stick them into the pilot seat controller. And we can turn them on and off when we get in and out of the pilot seat. Oop. So when you're not in it, it's all off. When you jump in it, it all turns on. Cool, I like that. Oh, it's the whole lot. Usually, it's usually like a single boiler for like all the hot water and central heating and everything. Yeah, we have two separate ones for our heating. Stupid, but different countries do it in different ways. Right. So, what's that? I've been doing 3 hours, 20 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably wrap this up in a little bit, because it's getting late and the internet is being a little bit moody with me. So, what else can we do before we knock off? Because I'm liking the inside of that cockpit now. It's got most of the bits in place, and it's got plenty of room to add more functions at the back here, which I'm certain I'll have to figure out eventually. We've set up... Oh yeah, we need to do the rear camera, and we need to sort out the rest of the toolbar, didn't we? Yeah, because that was going to be AI, and that was going to be the head. And I got totally distracted from doing any of that stuff. So let's put the toolbar back to the way it was. So that can be cycle, that can be focus target, that can be friends, that can be neutrals. And then the next thing we were going to have was going to be the auto cannons, because they're attached to the head, so they may as well be the second in the sequence. And then for these we were going to have control and control. Select the appropriate weapon. And then as a group, cycle subsystems, focus target, friends, neutrals. Yeah, do that for now. And then rockets are on the left, may as well go left to right. Oh wait, no, Gatling gun first. Gatling gun trigger, Gatling gun control, Gatling gun enable AI on off. Oh, actually, no. We'll have the weapon turn on and off in case we ever need to disable the gun. Ah, no worries, Tybor. Cheers for dropping by. Yeah, Chad, I'd love to be able to display camera views on LCD screens. I know there's a plugin for the PC that does that, but I've never actually used it myself. I've seen it in action. It looks pretty good. It's got a bit of a delay in it, because obviously it's recording and relaying information in the game, so it's got a little bit of a lag, but it does look really good. But yeah, it'd be amazing if something like that could be a vanilla feature. But yeah, cheers Tybo, cheers for dropping by, man. See you next time. I'll probably be back at the weekend to do more of this. Right, so guns, Gatling gun, cycle, focus, friends, neutrals, and then, oh yeah, we actually started the rocket in the right place. So rocket settings. Pardon me. Right, rocket. So we want to control the rocket. We also want a group for the rocket launchers themselves. So I can turn them off easily. Turn them on and off. We can select them. Then, where is it? There it is. Cycle. Focus. Friends on off. Neutrals on off. Because we always want the option to target enemies, but sometimes you want the option to shoot other things too. Then we can do the rail cannon. So that's that. Control. Hang on. Wrong thing. Oh, we're gonna need a group for the railguns. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's quite heavy on the old processing power, as far as I know, because it's using a plug-in, so it's sending information back and forth, and yeah, unless you've got a tank of a PC, it's not going to be that great for you. Which is why I haven't really explored it, because my PC is alright, but it's nothing amazing. So I don't really try and push it too hard. What were we doing? Rail cannons, we've got 2 of them. We need to turn them on and off. Rail guns. Railguns on and off. Railgun select. Railgun cycle. Focus. Friends and neutrals, and then the last thing we need to do is set up that one for the rear camera, which I have forgotten about. So, rear camera, let me spell it right, rotor. What's that doing? I've not even touched it in the slightest. Let's do some basic settings. That's all good. Yeah, let's have it. Oh no, it's yeah, let's tuck it all the way in, actually. Should be clear of that. That's fine. Rear camera hinge. I've not done anything with this either, have I? No. What did I do with Rex? Because I've done the exact same thing over here. There we go. We'll just copy all of those settings, because it is identical. And then we will name that one gear Zeke 01. Camera rear. Right. Cool. Squeeze in there. Right. Did we set up stuff for rear camera? We've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Let's put some tags on all of this stuff. Camera, rotor, hinge, controller. Azimuth, camera. Rotor, where is it? Rear camera, rotor. Rear camera. Hinge, where are you? There you are. Camera, rear. Nor that, nor that. Left and right are wrong. Up and down are wrong. Everything's backwards. There we go. Yeah, that's not too high. That's not too low. Yeah, cool. Right, so... Nope. What do to do for Rex? For Rex, the rear camera controller. Just did that. I only need to set the limits on the rotor. I can just use velocity controls for the hinge. Yep, cool. That's easy enough. So, did I set up a controller? I did. Fantastic. And I even made that, and that was what the final LCD was for. Yes. Cool. Right. Cockpit. Display. Rear. Camera. Online. I might need to shorten that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take the word cockpit out of all of them, because it'll make it a bit shorter and a bit easier to find in the event controller. Right, I'll leave it on those ones, because they're different ones. These ones that are being used as triggers, I'll take it off them. Right, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, so, rear camera. Right, so that's going to be block switched on and off. Rear camera display on and off. While we're here, we will stick that in there. We've set the camera up, that's all good, so let's just quickly have another look at what we did on Rex. Rear camera controller, so number one, is that on off, AI on off, camera on off, and then that. Simple enough. Rear camera. Right, so select actions. Rear camera. Controller on off. AI on off. camera on and off. And then we need to set the upper and lower limits to infinity, which is -361 for your lower limit. And... set the wrong thing, didn't I? I set the velocity. 361 for your upper limit. Oh no, I did set the right thing. That's fine. And then reset velocity so it doesn't spin around automatically. The AI fails to turn on for whatever reason. And then we can have that. I think positive? I'm not sure. Depends which way I put the hinge. And that can rotate to 0 at 5 RPM. So that's that. That's the end of the line there. We'll put the rear cam stuff at the end. So we'll turn it on and off. We will control. We will have AI turn on off. We will have camera view, just in case we want to just look at the camera and not control it. And we'll give it the same targeting kind of controls that the other turrets have got. Because why not? So, flick that, turns off. Oh, we forgot that. Let's give the sign something we can actually look at. Can I fit it into a single line like that? Or is it going to be too long? Size 3, make it red. Oh, it just fits inside. Sound. That's too much. I think. Find out in a second when I give it a background. 35. That looks about the middle. Cool, so that's off, that's on. That's me controlling it. I'm having limits, and that's all good. And I turn it off, it rotates back again. On, control, let's have a look in spectator mode. Yeah, I can move it around to control it, and when I turn it off. Cool, right, that's the last of those turret controls set up. So that is most of the basics of the cockpit in place now. So we've got a control for the head, auto cannons, Gatling gun, rocket launcher, rail cannon, and rear camera. And we've got forward, reverse lighting, turn lighting, and the walk system control lighting as well. Groovy. Cool. And we can turn all that off and it all resets back to default. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't check was to see if that was the wrong thing. I don't want to spawn it into my hand, I want to spawn it into the container. Yeah, we didn't set up the sorters for the autocannons, did we? Where are they hiding? Nope, didn't do it. Whitelist. Not assault. Auto cannon. Drain all. Whitelist. Auto cannon. Drain all. There we go. Oh, I didn't put any in there, did I? That was the other one. Oh, they're not connected. Did I break that connection and then not put it back again? No, that's connected. Oh, they're not connected in here. I didn't finish off the head, that's why. I knew I'd done the interior of the body. Yes, Chad, the 25cm blocks in SE2 are getting the mech builders very, very excited for the possibility of making tiny robots and power armor and all sorts of stupid tiny stuff like that. Lots of us are very, very excited about it, and we really, really, really hope there is going to be 25cm mechanical blocks. Like every single mech builder I know really wants there to be 25cm mechanical and logic blocks as well, because all the script guys will want 25cm programmable blocks so they can do all their scripts, and I want 25cm timers and event controllers so I can do all the stuff that I want. So, yeah, there's a lot of buzz about the 25cm system in SE2 at the minute. We are all just waiting for subgrids to become a thing. And as soon as subgrids become a thing, then you will see a lot more mechs getting built in Space Engineers 2. There we go, they're filling with ammunition. Fantastic. Right. They've got bullets in them. Did we hook up the Gatling gun? Nope. Because I want to do a little bit of a weapons test before I knock off for the evening, because it's not far off 4 hours now, and it's nearly 10 o'clock where I am. I want to go get some dinner and do something else for a bit. Like play a different game, maybe. So let's put some Gatling ammo in there. That's not going anywhere. Ugh. Have I messed up something over there? Gatling ammo container. Oh, right. The connection's fine. I think I just haven't done the sorter. Get. Wrong thing. Gat. Yeah, power armor size stuff. Like that's the thing we're all kind of hoping for, because those blocks are so small that we could possibly make tiny robotic stuff like power armor suits. Like I've seen people try and make like Space Marine armor or the power loader from Aliens and things like that, and you can make them, and you can make them look good. The only problem is they're about 10 times too big, because the smallest scale you have to work in is 10 times too big. Whereas the 25cm blocks are still probably a little bit big for realistic scale for a lot of stuff, but they'll be really cool for making tiny stuff. And I think both me and Engineered Coffee have both said separately that we will learn how to 3D model and mod the game if they don't make them. Like, we both desperately want there to be tiny mechanical blocks. Like, honestly, if they don't, I will put them into the game myself. I can promise you. Right, Gatling, ammo, whitelist. There we go. Right, all the weapons have got some ammunition. Yeah, there's plenty in the rail cannon. We've still got rockets and Gatling ammo sitting in there because they need more space. Yeah, oh hey Quetz. Yeah, something like that again. Being able to make smaller stuff, because the smallest like the smallest I've been able to make a biped is the scrapwalkers that are in my Mechyard series. That is literally the smallest feasible size I've been able to get a vanilla mech with all the absolute basics in it that it needs to function. And that is 3 or 4, possibly 5 times as tall as me. Like, and that's about as small as you can get. Even if you're using scripting, a lot of the time you can't get much smaller than that, because you need at least a rotor, hinge, and a hinge to make a proper leg. So any leg you need, or any leg you'll build, will be at least 3 blocks long anyway. But yeah, if you could do that, but like a fraction of the size, like the 27, because these are 50 centimeters, aren't they? So half of that, or a quarter of that rather, would be substantially smaller. Oh hey Marcus, you're back again. Yeah, the only way to do it now is to rotor hinge or use the circuit board mod. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping they do make like a set of like really small 25 centimeter stuff for that grid, because I've heard them, like I've heard Marek in particular say that it's just intended to be decorative at the minute, and me and a lot of other people I've spoken to are just like, it's not. We are going to make it functional whether you like it or not. There will be 25 centimeter subgrids, we can promise you. It's just a case of them implementing the basic infrastructure for them, and then the modders can go wild. Right, so yeah, that's nearly 4 hours, so I'm going to knock off in a minute and go get something to eat. But before we do that, we'll do a little weapons test over here. So we're away from the other mechs. Stick him over there. Grab one of them to be a willing sacrifice, or a test dummy. Everything else on that is pretty much set up. Nope. Easy now, nearly took some blocks out the back of that I didn't want to. There are 3 sizes of gyros. I can see there being multiple sizes. Oh, is there 3 sizes of gyros? I haven't played. Oh, my internet signal's going mad. I haven't actually played anything of SE2 yet, because there's nothing in it for me really to do at the minute. Shipbuilding doesn't interest me too much. But if there's 25 centimeter functional blocks, then that is a good sign. Oh, come on, internet, behave for the last 5 minutes. Reconnected. Back in the green again. Right, fine. Hopefully you can do the last 5 minutes on that one. Right, so he can walk. He can turn. He can balance, sort of. But that's only because he's got a whole buttload of override gyros on him. Still need to set up the proper AI-controlled balance system. I still need to work out the feet. I need to put more weight into the back of him. He's tipping too far forwards. But turn that way. There we go. So let's have a look at the front. Got the head. We got the autocannons. We've got the Gatling gun. We've got the rocket pod, which... There we go. And we've got the rail cannon. Let's just make sure all of those are set to target small ships. Friends. There we go. There we go. I take rockets every time I fly past the camera. There we go. And we've got the guide lighting on the side. And then we've got the view from inside the cockpit. We can turn all that stuff off again. Cool, so next time I'm probably going to sort out the AI balance control. It's why I built... Where is it? It's why I built 2 sets of rotors in here with subgrid stuff on them, because I'm going to use this one for spinning mostly, and then I'm going to turn this one into the AI balance control. I'm going to have to redesign a few bits, maybe do a bit of repositioning of blocks in here, and then turn that into some AI control. So, speaking of AI control, let's quickly turn off all the reverse stuff. And turn off all of the turn stuff. Ooh, accidentally hit the microphone. Oh, cheers, Chad. Yeah, it's got a lot of firepower behind it, hasn't it? More guns you stick on, the better it is. And then... where are they? Ah, there they are. AI guard, AI movement, turn them on. AI on. Yeah. Oh yeah, the AI doesn't play nicely with that reset timer. That's why. We need to turn that off when we make the proper AI controls. And then the AI can use the same warp controls that we've built for ourselves, and we'll need a little bit of tweaking. Yeah, the AI blocks use the same warp controls that we do, and I just need to do a few things to make it work a bit nicer, like Metal Gear Rex does. Because yeah, Metal Gear Rex plays nice now with the walk cycle and the AI. Just need to remember what I've done to him and replicate it on Zeke. Oh, I think I also need to put some fake thrusters on it to trick the AI. I don't think I've done that yet. That might be why the AI is struggling a little bit. He's in closer. Yeah, and then I still need to set up their collision detections, which I will do eventually. But yeah, next time I will go into more of the AI control stuff, because it's not as complicated as you might think it is. It's mostly just logic and what ifs and stuff like that. So, I'm going to leave that there and go and get something to eat. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you very much all for chatting, and thank you, Marcus, for becoming a channel member. I'll probably be back on Saturday afternoon to do more of this stream, actually, to do more work on Zeke. And I will put a post and schedule a stream and stuff on YouTube, so you'll know when that is going to happen. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for chatting again, as I said, and goodbye for now. So, see you next time, guys. Cheers.